It is 7:12 at night. You open DoorDash because the fridge has nothing in it except old takeout and a nearly empty bottle of mustard. One sandwich, $12. Delivery, $1.99. Fine, harmless. But by the time you reach checkout, the total jumps to $26.84. Then the tip screen shows up like the final door at the end of the maze. You look at that number, and there is only one thought in your head. The math ain't mathing. But the scary part is not just that the app charges a lot. The scary part is this. The app meets you at the exact moment that you are hungry, tired, and already too close to the place order button to want to turn back. That is where the real trap begins. It is not that delivery is expensive. It is that the price becomes a maze built out of tiny little fees. This is the delivery fee maze. It does not start with one big lie. It starts with a bunch of small numbers that look harmless. $12 for the food, $1.99 for delivery, a gray little taxes and fees line, and then the tip screen. Each line by itself feels explainable. But when they stack together, a $12 meal starts reading like a phone contract. The mechanism underneath this has a name: fragmented pricing, or drip pricing. The real price does not show up all at once, when your brain is still calm enough to make a clean decision. It drips in piece by piece, line by line, under names that sound reasonable, until you are already deep inside checkout. And at that point, the question is no longer this. Is this meal worth $26? The question becomes smaller. Do I really want to cancel after I already picked everything? The app does not lie with one fake number. It breaks the truth into pieces small enough that you do not run away immediately. And when you look at real examples, some orders do not just go up by a few dollars. They get close to doubling. There is a very American moment when you stare at a $57 DoorDash receipt and wonder whether you ordered dinner or hired a private car search service for a bag of food. One user once described ordering Portillo's through an app for $57. They canceled the order, drove to Portillo's, and bought the exact same food in person. The paper receipt was $28. One reality was a $57 screenshot on a phone. The other was a $28 paper receipt in their hand. Same food, same restaurant. Two completely different price realities. Finance Buzz once found huge average markups between ordering through apps and buying the same food yourself. About 92% for Postmates, 83% for DoorDash, 80% for Grubhub, and 69% for Uber Eats. Your brain hears delivery fee and imagines $3 or $5 extra. But in real life, the total does not always creep up. Sometimes it takes the elevator. If the app told you up front, this $28 meal will become $57 if you order it through us, a lot of people would close the app. But the real total shows up when you are already near the final button. And to understand why canceling feels harder than it should, you have to look at checkout itself. You have already picked your food. After 15 minutes of scrolling the menu, adding fries, choosing sauces, the meal is not in your hands yet. But in your head, it already kinda belongs to you. Then checkout appears. There is one small line, taxes and fees, gray, quiet. Nearby, there is a tiny little information icon, as if the app is saying, if you want to understand what you are paying for, go dig. Most people will not tap it. Not because they are dumb, but because they are hungry, tired, and do not want dinner to become a tiny accounting exam. This is where drip pricing works. The real price does not hit you like a punch at the beginning. It drips: service fee, delivery fee, tax, small order fee, priority fee. Each individual line is not painful enough to make you rage quit. But the final total is painful enough for your wallet to remember. Your shoes are already off. Your car is outside. Your stomach is outvoting your budget. The app only needs to win 5 more seconds. The real price does not jump out in front of you. It waits until you have walked to the end of the hallway. Then it locks the door behind you. The final screen is where the real price lives. But there is an even more annoying version of this. It is when the app makes you feel like you are saving money. This is the softer trap. The app does not make you feel like you are spending. It makes you feel like you are winning. You open Uber Eats or DoorDash and see a promo. $15 off when you spend $35 or more. So you adjust the cart until it hits $35.87, just enough to qualify. In your mind, that feels like a small victory. Then checkout opens. The delivery fee is $1.49. Taxes and fees are $17.26. The promo code takes off $15. Final total, $40.87. The $17.26 in fees is bigger than the $15 discount. The coupon does not save you from the maze. It just leads you into the maze in a better mood. Free delivery is dangerous in a softer way, too. When you see that delivery is free, your brain relaxes. But free delivery does not mean the meal is cheaper. The service fee can still be there. The menu markup can still be hiding inside the item price. The tip still stands there like a tiny moral pop quiz. With DashPass or Uber One, the app does not need you to believe the meal is cheap. It only needs you to believe that this time you are winning. But the maze does not stop at coupons. When cities try to force platforms to treat drivers more fairly, the maze grows a new line item, with a name that sounds like it walked out of a lawyer's office. Then one day, same food, same address, same distance. But the receipt grows a new line. Regulatory response fee, or in some places, local operating fee. The fee is around $4.99. It does not sound like food money. It sounds like a legal memo stapled to your dinner. In Seattle, the city passed Pay Up, a law meant to push platforms to pay delivery workers better, with a rate often described as more than $26 an hour. But the platforms did not simply absorb that cost quietly. They put the fight onto the customer's receipt. You might think the fee must be helping the driver, right? That sounds reasonable. But it is not like a tip that goes straight to the person bringing food to your door. It is a platform fee named after regulation. Your receipt is no longer just a receipt. It becomes a lobbying flyer that you are charged to read. And if the customer pays more, the restaurant still pays commissions, and the driver still depends on tips, then the most painful question is this: where is the money actually going? So let's follow the money. The customer feels like they are paying too much. The restaurant still feels squeezed. And the driver looks at the app to decide whether this trip is even worth taking. Picture a driver standing in the hallway of an apartment building, rain on their jacket, a bag of food in their hand already getting cold. The customer opens the door, irritated because the app just added almost $9 in fees. The driver is irritated too because without a tip, this delivery may only be worth a few dollars. Two real people are standing face to face. The platform is invisible. The first layer is in the menu. Many platforms can charge restaurants commissions around 15 to 30%. For restaurants with thin margins, the easiest way to protect themselves is to raise the menu price inside the app. You think the fees start at checkout, but they may have started back on the menu. The second layer is checkout. The delivery fee can look low, but then the service fee, small order fee, local fee, tax, and tip stack on top of each other. Service fee sounds like money going to the people serving you. But you do not always know how much goes to the restaurant, how much goes to the driver, and how much stays with the platform. The third layer is the driver. Customers see the receipt go up by $8 or $10 and assume the driver must be doing pretty well. But many drivers describe base pay that can be only around $2 or $3 per trip. So the customer is mad about fees. The driver is mad about low tips. The restaurant is mad about commissions. And the app stands in the middle, controlling the screen, the language, and the moment when you finally see the real price. Here is the twist. This maze does not only make customers pay more. It makes people in the real world suspicious of each other. Two real people get mad at each other over a receipt written by an algorithm. But are these apps just greedy? Not exactly. And if we are not fair about the next part, we miss the more dangerous point. To be fair, getting food delivered to your door is not free magic. Someone has to drive through traffic, wait at the restaurant, pay for gas, put wear on their car, and drop a bag of food at your door. For a lot of people, delivery is convenience. For some people, it is access. Either way, getting a hot meal across town into your doorstep is not costless. If delivery is unusually cheap, someone in the chain may be getting squeezed. The restaurant, the driver. or even the customer being subsidized just long enough to build the habit. So the problem is not that delivery has to be cheap. Delivery should not always be cheap if real people are doing real work. The problem is how the price is sold to you. If the app said up front, getting this meal to your door will cost an extra $11, are you okay with that? Then it would be a clear exchange. You could say yes, you could say no. But when the app says $0 delivery, then lets the service fee, markup, local fee, and tip appear at the end, it is not selling an expensive service. It is selling the illusion of a cheap one. That is the real crime of the maze, not that the ticket is expensive. It is that the ticket price stays hidden until you are already too deep inside. And if the problem is not that you lack discipline, then the solution cannot just be: try harder at checkout. You need a defense system before hunger opens the app for you. The old advice is, delete the app, cook at home, have more discipline. That sounds right. But it usually fails at the exact moment you are hungry, tired, and just want someone to bring dinner to the door. So do not let the most exhausted version of you become the accountant. Let the calm version of you make the rules first. Move 1. The total price rule. Before you tap place order, read the final total. Do not ask, is this $12 sandwich worth it? Ask, is this $26.84 meal worth it? The app wants to split the question into pieces. You force it to answer with the real total. Move 2. The screenshot rule. Take a screenshot of the checkout screen. Look at the total and ask, would I buy this if the restaurant printed this price on the menu? The screenshot turns the maze back into one number. Move 3. The 7 at night backup. Keep an emergency dinner around, a frozen meal, pasta, a sandwich kit, canned soup, or a Costco rotisserie chicken. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough that DoorDash is not your only option at 7 at night. Then make the path to place order a little less slippery. Turn off promo notifications. Remove your saved card. Move the app off your home screen. You do not need to become a perfectly disciplined person. You just need to stop leaving the hungriest version of yourself alone inside the maze. The real question is this: who gets to put a price on your exhaustion? After all of this, the thing to remember is not just that a $12 sandwich became $26.84. The thing to remember is how it happened. Not with one loud scam, but with small pieces that each felt reasonable enough for you to take one more step. Service fee, taxes and fees, tip, free delivery, promo code. The app did not lie about the price. It fragmented the truth. It did not need to lie. It only needed to break the truth into pieces and reveal each piece at the moment when you were too tired to fight it. At checkout, the app is not just pricing the food. It is pricing your exhaustion. And that is why this series exists. To look at ordinary habits and ask who is writing the rules behind them. The next video gets even more uncomfortable. Today, the price was split into pieces. But what happens when two people buy the same thing on the same day, and the system shows them two different prices? That is when the price does not just hide from you. It starts looking back at you.